expressed, and the opinions given by the individual host and their guests do not necessarily reflect those of Para X, its affiliates, or its sponsors.
Supernatural. Magic. Ghosts. UFOs. Bigfoot. Extraterrestrial. Psychic energy.
The Calling.
And good evening, everyone. It's another wacky Wednesday, I guess. If I was part of the gathering, we got to have a WW word. Weird Wednesday. What else do you think, Kim?
Wacky Wednesday.
Wacky
Willing
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
What was that?
Willing Wednesday.
Willing Wednesday?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I'm just thinking of something.
Well, that's okay. Warlock Wednesday. I don't
there
know.
you go. There you
Yeah.
go.
What's a 3-1?
Oh,
Wild Willy Wednesday.
Oh, there you
Wild
go.
Woolly Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep,
that's a
there
good
you go. All right. So, how you doing, Kim?
I'm doing great. I'm doing
Are
great.
you?
Really busy at work. Yeah, the holidays are coming, and I can feel it already. we get really over at the. I work at a church, so we really get into those holidays, and it's like a madhouse right now. So yeah.
I just can't imagine, like, what will you guys be doing, Everybody
Yeah.
look religious,
Right.
If
Right.
somebody
No,
comes in.
it's actually not like that. It really isn't like that. I mean, it is like religion and whatever, but I mean, it's just funny, like when we do everything we're supposed to, we make jokes and we crack up. And Father's young; he's only 30 years old, so yeah.
So
it's
you're talking
kinda-
like a lot of clean jokes.
Yeah, a lot of clean jokes. Yeah,
Okay.
there's a lot of joking around and stuff. It's pretty okay, I'm
Is-
okay with it.
Does he ever tell a joke like, okay, there's
Oh,
this
God.
Protestant and there's this Lutheran and this Catholic comes walking in? Anything like that?
Yeah, sometimes he does. Or if he hears a good one, he'll tell me about it. But the priest before that was an older and much more, proper and everything, tip-top shape and everything, just like you would think a pastor or father would be. But when he would go and do jokes, like my first time being there, he came out into the hallway and shoots me with a rubber band gun. I was like, oh my God, I couldn't believe it. I was like, I would never do that. I was so upset. It was so funny. But then after I just laughed at him about it, because you would never get something out of that man like that. And I just thought it was hilarious afterwards.
That is very funny. I just figure, if you're going to be working for a church or something, everything's holy.
Oh,
yeah.
See,
Where they're standing at the door and their hands are together
No.
and they're looking up in the air and they're like, good morning, Kim.
Oh, it's nothing like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
type of thing.
Exactly. No, sometimes it's so funny. It's just.
Yeah, Steph just made a good point. She can't figure out why they call pastors father in the Catholic religion.
Well, okay, so Christian religion are pastors. They call them pastors. And I don't know what the difference is. You know what? I'm going to ask him that, because that's something that's interesting. And it's true. Like Christian, and even though we're Christian still, like I say, Christian churches call them pastors. Or not even fathers. They call them pastors or the priest. Or there's another name too. I can't remember the other name. Clergians,
Clergy.
Well, clergy, they still call them, yeah. But father, and it's so funny to say this young kid calling him Father Tay. His name is Father Tay, and it's just hilarious because he's so young. And so is another priest that's like not too far from us, and they're best friends, mind you, and he's only 29. So,
Right.
so yeah, we have a lot of kids, and
Right.
just kind of hard
Well, I mean, could you call him Dad?
I
Yo,
know, right?
What's up?
Right.
You
Right?
know?
Yeah. I think it's
Uh,
funny.
anyway, I think it's really weird. So they were saying in the chat room that we had a bunch of static and it finally went away.
Yeah.
But static must have been left over from the gathering last night because there was a whole bunch of static. Oh my
Really?
God. Oh yeah.
I wonder if it was from the winds. Remember the winds are
Oh,
really
yeah, they
blowing
were
out
really-
here.
Yeah, they were really bad.
Oh
It's
my
the
God.
first time that Tresemme heavy
Hairspray?
hairspray
Oh.
failed me.
How did I know that? That's about hairspray? We're talking about hairspray?
That's
Now
true.
funny.
Steph said it's a crazy energy we have between us, Heidi and me. Oh yeah, yeah. There we go. Like me in the Sim commercial. Yeah, there you go. That's true.
That's hilarious.
Okay, so one of the things that we wanted to talk about,
Oh, the shampoo commercial.
exactly. One of these days, guys, I'll have to figure out how to put it on the internet, and then I will put it in the chat room so you guys can see us sim back in the old days when we used to do these wacky videos, and it was for Paracon, and it was just hilarious, some of that stuff. And you look back at it now, and you're like, we got to do that again. I mean, it was just too much fun. But anyway, so we decided we were going to go back in time. And we're going to, that was bad.
Love that.
And we're going to, kind of talk about how everything first started. Now, this is kind of hilarious. I asked some millennials, some kids, what they thought of the paranormal. And they thought, oh, that's really cool. I said, when do you think the very first EVP, I said, had ever been formed? And they said, oh, man, that was with ghost hunters. That must have been like, wow, back in like the 90s? And I've said, like, 1890? And they're like, no, 1990, silly. Zach's not that old. And I'm like, oh my God, come on. I mean, everything, and it was funny because everybody that I talked to about it, they were thinking that they were the first ones that started everything, when actually the first ones that really made it grow the most was TAPS, the Atlanta, what is it? The Atlanta Paranormal Society. Yep. They were the first ones that really got it going in our time. But back in 1890, there was a guy by the name of first off, hold on. Let's talk about the paranormal investigative type part here. Now there was two guys, and I don't know why I cannot find it on the internet now, but I can't. The two guys that people are claiming are the ones that actually started the paranormal craze. Mm-hmm. The one that I remember the most was Harry Price. And Harry Price, I actually have him right here. He's coming up. And Harry Price, he did have a lot of stuff going on that he really thought that you could talk to the dead. Right. He didn't have any proof of it. What he did have was everything from, he had his own kit, which I thought was pretty incredible. And let me put that on here too. 1 second.
Shauna, do you see Shauna when she said? She goes, "Whoa, he's got some big hands."
He does.
He does. He totally does.
Yeah. It's got to be the camera angle. Maybe. There was Bigfoot, and then there was big hands, and we got the big hands guy there. Did that second photo come up?
Oh yeah, it did.
Oh, it did with the equipment.
The equipment. Yep.
No,
it's like a suitcase and an old camera, and Interesting.
Yeah, the stuff that they had inside there, which, actually is really kind of ingenious of what they put together. Of
Right.
course, you can see that there's a flashlight there.
Yep.
There's actually a video camera,
Mhm.
a still camera. There's things like flour. And of course, they put flour on the ground and everything else. There was bells and there was tuning forks and stuff,
Right.
which they claim. And now still people claim to this day by starting out doing an investigation, you would take tuning forks and bing, because that sound they feel. I mean,
Right.
there's no scientific thing to it. Yeah, that attracts the spirits to them. Now,
Yeah.
one thing that I do agree on the most is actually there's a jar of Vaseline there. And that was done, they would take Vaseline and they would line it around a plate, okay? And then they would put mercury in the middle. And they they would walk away from it and they would ask, can you tap on the table? And it would actually pick up the vibrations.
Vibration.
Yeah. So to me, now that was very ingenious
Yes. Yes.
of back in those days. That was like one of the coolest things that I've seen them do. Shauna, you are so weird. Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. Oh, maybe a big fan that oh, good God. Yeah, she's a different one. She is.
Oh my God.
So yeah, and then there was actually a photo that was taken. It wasn't from Harry Price. I do not have the guy's name. He was from England, and when he took the photo, he was taking photo of the family. Now, not too far away, about a mile away, when he took that photo, there was a guy that got ran over by a milk truck. Believe it or not. And you take a look there at the picture, you see there's a man sitting there. And when he seen a picture of what that man looked like, and he went and checked it out, and he's claiming that is this guy sitting in the chair. Yeah, I thought that was really, really pretty cool. And again, this was in the very late 1800s, early 1900s. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so that was pretty awesome. Now, let's see here. Let me go.
How does he think? This is the thing, though, Jerry. I mean, does he think that was okay? So he says that he got hit at the same time he took this picture.
That guy got. Yep, that's what he's claiming, and that the spirit happened to be in that same place at the same time. Now, I actually there is some plausibleness to it. Why do I say that? And why, can I prove it? No, I really can't prove it. But when we did Kragan's many years ago, we got all the evidence together and stuff, and a year and a half later, we went and gave the evidence. Now, we did our reveal to them and everything. Don't ask me why, but we did the reveal and everything. They let us stay in the most haunted room. Bobby Sullivan was up there. He stayed in the new edition. He didn't want any spirits bothering him. Bill Larrabee, a friend of mine, was with me, and he slept in the same room. It was room number 153, and that's the room that a ghost actually came out, scared Steph so much she went running down the hallway, and when somebody finally stopped her, she said, "I'm a ghost hunter and I just got scared," which is a great thing for a t-shirt. Anyway, I won't tell that secret out, so Steph, don't worry. So anyway, so we stayed in that room, put up voice recorders, put up video camcorders, all that stuff. And in the middle of the night, all of a sudden, I hear this voice, and this voice says, "Can you help me?" And I said, "Sure." and it was like right next to me. It was a girl's voice, and I turned, and there was a girl there.
Uh-huh.
And I screamed. Bill got up. He was like, "What the hell's the matter with you?" You know? And the second thing he said is, "Why is it so cold in here?" It was below freezing. It was very cold
Wow.
in that room.
Nice.
And I think it's from the energy of that spirit. And in that
Right.
room, it really was haunted. So anyway, calmed down, went back to sleep. The girl came back, and she had been dead for a few months.
Okay.
And she's just said she pretty much felt like she was traveling around. Time did not move that much for her.
Right.
And then she got a hold of me. You know, I am a bit intuitive. And when I was talking with her, she told me that they killed themselves. And when I asked they, she said it was her and her friend. She loved her friend, and she got expelled from school, and the parents were going to separate them, make them go to separate schools. They couldn't have that. So they hung themselves at noon on a Saturday
Wow.
in each other's rooms, and that was it. Now, her friend passed on. She did not. She wanted her story told. She wanted her story actually told to her her uncle, who was more like a brother. Okay, and so Bobby helped me find this person via the internet and stuff. Mostly it was YouTube. I looked at YouTube just for a joke, and there was the interview about this girl. And so I got a hold of the uncle, and I just told him, I said, "Listen, I'm not looking for anything whatsoever. I just want to tell you a story of what happened." So I told him that, she felt like you guys were brothers more than uncle and niece, and that, he couldn't have done nothing about it. And she just made up her mind. So it was nothing that she said. And she did. So people can go and seek out someone to help tell their side, their story, in which, in this case, I believe that picture to be real. And it's actually a picture that a lot of people claim, especially professionals, scientists, whatever, they really believe in that one. Now, this other guy, Vladimir, hold on. Let me get his picture zoomed up here so I know I'm going to butcher the name anyway. So we're going to play an EVP in a moment here. So Vladimir Borgaras, okay, he was he was a lot of things. He was from Russia. Now what we're going to be playing, this EVP here, is from 1899 to 1901, right around that. Okay. And it is the voice of a Chukchi tribe, Chukchi from the peninsula bordering the Bering Sea.
Okay.
And he's a shaman, and he's playing a drum, and you can hear in this EVP, you'll be able to hear him singing, and then you're going to hear different voices, one in a Russian language, one in other different languages. You're going to hear all sorts of stuff, and it is not faked. And this EVP you're going to hear too is actually studied at the U of M, the University of Minnesota. In their parapsychology department, they actually believe that this is the only real true EVP that there is. Now, it is kind of long. It's a few minutes long. It's pretty grainy because I do believe it was a Victrola that they were recording on. Okay. Gosh darn it, I knew I was going to mess this up. Trying to see exactly what they called it. Some voices are first faint, as if coming from afar, but as they gradually approach, they increase in volume, and at last they rush into the room. So he feels like they're in the room
Okay.
pass through and out, decreasing and dying away in a remote distance. Sometimes the voices are sounds of animals, insects, words in foreign tongue, and a voice imitation of clapping their hands. Borga heard also too, Bulgara heard a spirit whisper in his ear also. Another voice from the ground between his legs, while the shaman appeared to be into a complete trance as he played the drum. It was a gramophone. A gramophone to record everything. So, Sarge, if you could play that a couple times, and like I said, everybody, it's kind of grainy. So don't say, "Oh my God, I can barely understand." Just shut up and listen. Okay, sorry. Go ahead, Sarge, if you would, please. Okay, so did you hear it, Kim? Could you hear it?
Yeah, I could hear it really good. As a matter of fact, so let me bring in the questions. Where was this supposed to be done at? Do you know?
This was done in Russia.
Okay, in Russia.
They did this in Russia, yeah.
Okay.
And then it was later he did come to the United States,
Mm-hmm.
and they did kind of go through it and stuff.
Okay.
There's no overlay of like different voices and stuff like that. I mean, I could hear
You could totally hear. So to me, it even sounds like, okay, maybe they're saying a Russian name, but it even sounds like horse, like clump, 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 clump. Like if they're in a, like horses clump, you know what I mean? Like
a horse running through and stuff.
Yep, or walking through. It sounds like that at the end, towards the end.
That's where I think that they were singing like this.
Okay.
The clapping.
Maybe you're right. Okay.
Yeah, because he's playing the drum. The shaman is.
Right.
I mean, he's banging away on that drum. So how else is he going to do that? And that is definitely
that's true.
Two hands together type sound. And the voices, you can't really understand what they're saying in the background. It's pretty cool. I thought it was, something that, it's a lot longer before, Zach Bagans and those guys.
Right. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
But it's, it's interesting. Like in the beginning, you don't have a lot of equipment. You mostly are going on what everybody else does, and you want to imitate that. But, when it comes to EVPs, there's really no way that you can imitate it especially if there's only one person and they're doing the talking, they're doing the reacting and stuff like that. And back in those days on a, what did I say? It was a gramophone?
Gramophone, yeah. And how do you know how well it takes the EVP? It could even stretch the voice a little bit instead of, compacting it, because, back in time, you got to think about if it's recording, I could imagine it's stretching out, what they're saying, trying to say, you know what I mean? And in the end, if you listen really well, it does sound like they're trying to say something and towards the end.
Yep.
Yeah. So.
And by the way, he was Vladimir did live with the Chukchi tribe on the Chukchi Peninsula, bordering the Bering Sea. He recounts how much of their folklore and ritual practices involve supernatural entities called Kelet. Some of which are helpful, while others are kind of nasty. During one ceremony, the spirits possessed the shaman and spoke through him, which is referred to as separate voices. Right? Some voices are at first faint, as if they're coming from afar. Then that's when I, start talking about that. But it was. I think that's pretty cool. I would like to.
Yeah. See, even in the end, to me, I kind of got the little bit of a Willie thing, going on, because it kind of sounded pretty creepy on one point. You know what I mean? Listening to it.
Yeah. Yep. It would be so interesting to be able to step back in time and actually go to when this happened. Right. To see this stuff, or to live with, just not the Chukchi, but also live with some of the native around us and stuff from back in those days, the Lakota or the Dakota or the, any of them, even the Pueblo Indians and stuff, that would be very interesting to, and that's a show that I'd really like to do, but I'm having a hard time trying to find any Native Americans that would like to speak about their spiritualism. About, all their, the creator and what happens when you die, what happens, what's the funeral like and stuff. Yeah. Which is pretty incredible, I guess.
I'm sure you could find somebody eventually, you know what I mean? I would think somebody.
Kimmy,
I know.
I've been looking for years for someone that's credible to do that. And there's just nobody that really either knows much about it or even wants to talk about any of it, and so it's kind of tough.
Yeah, I can see that sense.
But you got your eyes are going pretty, looking around and stuff. So you got something up your sleeve.
Yeah, I think I do. So let me see.
Well, good.
Yeah, let me see if I can find somebody, because you got to, they're going to be willing to tell that. You know what I mean? To tell people about the way their culture is and what their beliefs are and stuff like that. You have to teach people, you know what I mean? And that's what this is all about. The paranormal, it's not just paranormal. It is teaching people and history and things like that. That's very interesting. I really like that, Jerry. Good job, Jerry. High five.
Right. High five. All right, guys. Well, it's past time to go to a break. We will be right back in just a couple minutes.
Oh, hey, Steph.
Hey. It's a Taffy Tuesday today, Heidi.
Taffy Tuesday. I don't know, Steph. That's kind of a stretch.
Well, we want to give everyone something to chew on.
Tune in to the Gathering Radio Show Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern on Para X Radio.
Are you haunted by shadow people in the middle of the night?
Do you secretly love all things creepy and spooky, enjoying ghost stories and horror fiction from the best storytellers?
Do you have a true ghost experience you want to share, but no one will believe you?
If yes, listen to The Professionals on What Are You Afraid Of? Horror Paranormal Show Friday nights at 9 p.m. on Para X Radio and at www.whatayouafraidofpodcast.com.
What are you afraid of on Para X?
Our creepy and demented hosts are on call to provide you with all your spooky needs with true ghost stories, interviews, indie music, and new horror fiction. We are ready to scare you.
Para X.
Hey, this is Lee from the Dead Zone. I want to give a huge shout out to Shauna and congratulations on her new podcast, Exploring the Paranormal Perspective. You'll hear some amazing guests like me,
Whatever.
paranormal and true crime stories, and more. Catch her Wednesdays at 8 Central on the Para X Radio Network.
Whether you're listening at home, at work, or anywhere, thanks for making Para X part of your day. Your source for everything paranormal. Para X.
We're back. This is Jerry and Kim from The Calling. And hey, if you didn't get to listen to the first half and you're just joining us now, tomorrow or the next day, we'll get this put on YouTube or on our website, thecallingradioshow.com, or, of course, our YouTube, The Calling Radio Show. Also, too, hey, keep going with Para X, man. I listened to a couple shows over the weekend. At nighttime, it's quite different than what it is right now. Check it out. Seriously, there's some really good shows out there. Right after us, it's Geeks Paranormal. Shauna, she's the best. She's awesome. And, of course, every Tuesday, the show to listen to is The Gathering with Stephanie and Heidi. Awesome show. They got a really good show going on. And if you can, hit the time when they do the Paranormal Smorgasbord. That's like awesome, really good. So check it out and don't be shy. Be in that chat room. Ask questions. So there. Okay, one of the questions Steve did say, he said, I just learned how to speak today. These are new lips. So bear with me, guys. Remember the skeleton face in the exit sign. It's our listeners that makes the smorgasbord awesomer.
Right.
Oh, wait a minute. Is that a word? Awesomer?
I like it.
I like it too, yeah. It is a fun show. Yeah. I think awesomer is good. Oh, at Cragen's. Oh, yes. Now I do remember, Steve. Steve was at the event we did in Cragen's. And, I remember it. But I don't think I have Steffiisms. I don't have the I don't think I have the pictures of that. I'm going to have to go through it.
What was it? What was it, Jerry?
There was like a skeleton face in a exit sign.
Really?
Of one of the,
Huh.
And that, I'm going to have to look through all that stuff. Because it was funny, when I started going through trying to find, because the presentation in the beginning of the show and everything was something we did in 2016 or 2015 at Paracon. And so so I thought, okay, since we're going to talk about paranormal in the beginning, let's talk about way in the beginning, And so I was looking for it. I was running across some old stuff that I have not seen in forever.
I know.
And
don't you love it?
Yes, I love that, especially, old recordings and stuff,
Oh, yeah.
We used to have these cameras that were infrared that you could get at Toys R Us, and they were like $20.
Really?
They were toy ones, but by God, they worked.
Yeah.
I mean, we got some really good stuff. I mean, one particular place, we had one of them going, and you can see Steph and Katie and May, and all of a sudden you could hear this woman singing, "Oh, the real life, all the pretty girls." That's what she was singing. And here's the thing is, in that building, there was no electricity. Stephanie, Katie, and May, you can see their faces good enough where they were not singing.
Right.
You know,
right.
and the only thing May said was, what did she say? She said, I wonder if the guys back then, what they would think of us today. You know, because there was a lot of history. I wish I could tell more about the place, but I can't.
That's awesome.
Because it was a confidentiality thing, but we could show evidence and stuff.
Yeah.
It was an incredible place. We even had there was a on the side of the building, on the inside, somebody had something written there which said Tony Tuna kicks butt, but they used, the ASS word.
Yeah.
And while we were looking at it and we were filming around and stuff, and all of a sudden this voice comes out of nowhere and says, Tony Tuna kicks ass.
Really?
We're like, oh my God. We caught it. And poor May was sitting there. There was a picture on the wall and it had this big old machete in the picture. And I mean, it was a real one. This was, and May said something like, gosh, if anything, don't be grabbing that machete and stick me with it. And all of a sudden she screams out because it felt like somebody cut through her leg.
Really?
So, yeah, it was like ghost pains.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, we also had,
interesting.
it was a very interesting place. I remember Jaffe, one of our members, Jaffe, passed away a few years ago, but he was so funny. We went into one building, it was just him and I, and it was very spooky looking. And I said, okay, I want you to stay here on this side. I'm going to go way over to the other side and ask a few questions. Mm-hmm. And as I was starting to go, he goes, nope, I don't feel comfortable with this. And I looked at him and I went, what? And he goes, nope, I'm not going to stay by myself. And I just started laughing because I couldn't get mad at the guy,
Right.
I couldn't believe he said that, So we left that place. We went to a different one. And while we're investigating, he's got his camera out. Everything's on and stuff. Well, I thought it was on. And all of a sudden a chair scoots across the floor. And he's like, dude, I got that. I said, you got it? He goes, yeah, I got it. And then a few minutes later, he says, hey, Jerry, I'm really, really sorry. And I said, sorry for what? I didn't have the camera turned on.
Oh.
I said, are you serious, Jaffe? And he's like, yeah, I'm really sorry, man. And I said, if there is anyone in here right now, if you could reach out and smack him in the back of the head, all of a sudden you hear, and he's like, what the heck is this all about? He's like, no, I want to get out of here. Oh, I was really mad at him. Yes, I was. But that right there, I couldn't be mad,
Yeah.
Again, we went into another building. I don't know, Jaffe's presence, even though as quirky and as a chicken that he was, brought out paranormal activity. Because while I was talking to the two curators of the place, and Jaffe was like maybe 15 feet away, we hear a door open and shut. And
was
I said, hey, Jaffe,
was it a business or a residence?
Historical place.
Oh.
Yeah, historical place. I said, Jaffe, can you walk over and see if that, the door open and shut, if it's like the wind or if it's paranormal? And he turns around. Now he's thinking this. He didn't mean to say it out loud. He says, God, I hope it's not paranormal. And I start laughing. And the girls start laughing that were there. And all of a sudden, he catches an EVP on his voice recorder from over there. This laugh that goes, I hope it's not either.
Oh, my
And
gosh,
I'm
how
like,
creepy is
oh
that?
my God. When he heard that, he
Love
gave
it.
me everything. And he says, you finish it. I don't want nothing to do with it. And he actually quit Sim. Because he just couldn't take it. Yeah, he was such a great guy, and if he would have stopped drinking, I think he'd still be with us today. But he did, real nice. Yeah, I did. Steph's right. I really got really mad at him, but he was just a really nice guy. But anyway, yeah. So I mean, when it comes to the paranormal, the things that we used to do back in the day compared to now, the new advancements.
Oh my gosh.
It's incredible. Even like the SLS cam. That's come to be one of my favorite cameras. I have not yet found someone to explain to me why they think it's not real.
Okay.
Everybody that I've talked to about it, even skeptics and stuff, they're like, I have a Wii, and we do a lot of stuff with the Kinect and stuff like that. But I don't understand it. I don't understand.
I like it too, Jerry. I like it too. Hands down. It's not disappoint me at all. Hands down. I even saw, we turned on the SLS here because I bought one from Australia when they first came out, and it was from Tech, what's it called? Ghost Tech. And we did it. We bought it and everything. We didn't know, honestly, what it was all about and everything. So we bought it from them and everything. We put it on and, just kind of checked it out and everything. All of a sudden, we're pointing it to the fish tank, okay? We have a fish tank, and we're pointing it to the fish tank, and I see this little boy, like a stick figure little boy. He was smaller size, and I said, "Are you the little boy?" And you kind of see him moving and kind of like stood up and looked at me and just kept standing there. And then I said, because I already know that there is a little boy that's here. And then all of a sudden I said, I don't know what I said. I said, "Can you touch my hand?" And you see the stick figure. He's next to the aquarium. He touches my hand. And then all of a sudden I said, "Are you touching me?" And I feel this sensation, right? And I'm like, okay, this is crazy. This is not real. Then all of a sudden Art turns around and says, because Art's looking through the camera, and he says, "You're not going to believe this." And I said, because as I'm talking to him, I said, "Oh, do you like the aquarium? Isn't it beautiful?" All of a sudden Art says he sees the stick figure, grab the top of the aquarium, and he pulls himself up looking into the aquarium. Yes.
Oh my God. No kidding.
No kidding. And Art's like, he was so blown away. And that was like, that's it. Because I mean, the stick figure is not going to go to you know what I mean? It was just so weird that he just went to the aquarium, knew what the aquarium was. Because I don't feel like he's like a long time ago kind of, that he must have been with the house for some odd reason. He has related somewhat to the house. I just don't know, because I really don't do the research on my house. But there's been a lot of, families that have been through here. That's for sure. So,
wow.
But I just think it's hilarious that he did that,
Yeah. Well, I know that Jeff Apple, when he was with our team, we all went to Walcott one time, and Stephanie and I think it was Ladora and Jade, when they were on the team, they went out there, and Steph was collecting some cedar and stuff, and she did it the right way, asking for cedar. But for some reason, when she picked up the cedar, their K2 started going nuts.
Okay.
And Ladora said she does not feel right. She felt like something was there and something bad. At the same time, Jeff was in the building, and all of a sudden this creature comes from in one place, crawls across, and goes into the other room. Mm-hmm. And that is so creepy to actually see that. We had that happen too at Humbird, which was the turning point of Steph saying, "Well, we're all going to stay in our own rooms. I'm staying in the pink room, and Jerry's staying in 1N, and Nicole's staying in 3N, and all this stuff and everything." And then after she's seen some of the stuff from 2N, on that, she's like, "Nope, I'm not staying in a room by myself. We're all staying in one room. Jerry, you sleep there. Nicole and I will sleep on this bed right here." It makes, some of this equipment really makes you change your mind. But, still, I guess I got to say that my most favorite equipment, especially after our recent investigation, is a voice recorder.
Oh, yeah.
Because the voice recorder picks up some stuff that I mean, we were upstairs, and there's no way to explain why you can hear somebody thudding their fingers on a table right next to, no, it wasn't a voice recorder at that time. It was my body cam.
Mm-hmm.
I had my body cam sitting recording, and they have really good voice recorders. And then you hear somebody zip up their jacket, and you hear plastic bags moving around, and it's like there was nobody else in that whole building of that place that we did, which was Stanley's Bar, you know. And like I said, we were upstairs, so yeah, we had some pretty incredible stuff, you know. But I would love to have the one that we had, we actually borrowed from Mike at Odyssey Paranormal.
Okay.
Yeah, we borrowed his.
Yeah,
but
we know how to make them now.
Well, I need you to make me one then.
Yeah, I will do that.
I will.
It's fun. No, it's kind of, I know.
Okay,
Well,
everybody
that's just
listen
like
to
the
what you
lights.
just said.
That's just like the lights, Jerry. We never did the lights.
Oh, if you need lights, we can do lights.
Okay, we'll have to.
I can do lights too. As a matter of fact, you know what's funny?
I know you can.
Yeah. We bought these, you know, soldering is not I'm horrible at soldering.
Mm-hmm.
So I bought these. They're like a soldering tube. They've already got solder on each end. So you stick the wires in, and then you put some heat to it, and it automatically melts the solder. So it's a perfect soldering job that holds the wires together. And it's in my, if you guys seen what my place looks like, my shed, it's pretty amazing. Or not shed, closet. It's stuff everywhere, but I know it's in here somewhere. I just got to find it. But you can get that stuff on Amazon also too. This the wire stuff. But yeah, the lights are easy, you know, and the lights that I like are the ones without any kind of red glow to them.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, they're the good ones which you buy in China. I know.
But, yeah.
Oh, I know.
Even our investigator, well, Art, he learned to pull the little lens out of those little generic GoPros, and they work perfectly fine. I mean, they work awesome. And they work in the night, and they work off an RL light. They're just awesome. All you do is pop the lens, and you pop the little lens. Well, pop the top and where the camera shows, and then you just pop the little lens, the little colored. I think it's a blue, I want to say, or something like that. Then you pop the lens back on, and it's an RL camera, and it works awesome. It's just great.
Wow.
So yeah.
Yep, that's going to have to do that. I got to get back at doing that stuff.
I know.
So,
I know.
Yeah, but no, that's so, you know, going back in time at some of this equipment and thinking up stuff too, you know, I mean, because I mean, you learn from the past.
Exactly.
You know?
I got to say this. I just heard a radio show with Elizabeth Saint, and she's working on new equipment as well. And I think it's awesome. Girl power. You know what I mean? Because she loves that stuff. She loves the electronical, everything. And she's just trying to make up some new stuff. And I was like, man, if you need me to test anything, I will. You know? I think she's awesome. Yeah. Yeah. I think she's awesome.
Well, that's good. That's good. I mean, there's a lot of creators, as I call them, around. You know, Eric Moen and stuff. But one thing I just wish, and I know Steve would actually say yes, is that eProbe. There was an eProbe that, oh gosh, what was his name? I can picture him in my head. He's Colorado Tech.
Mm-hmm.
Colorado Tech made Horn. Ron Horn. Shoot. His last name is Horn. Mm-hmm. And oh my God, they made the best equipment in the world, man. They were really, really good. Rich Horn. Yeah, and I did ask him about an eProbe, and he's like, we don't even have all that stuff anymore. We make a different type.
Crazy.
Yeah, but that eProbe was quite awesome.
Well, that's just like the first Frank box. I
Frank box. What's a Frank box?
Well, the Frank box is kind of like the spirit box, but they used to call it the Frank box. So it's kind of like a spirit box in a sense, and they can make different things, or it's kind of like the white noise and all that stuff. So yeah, Jerry's looking it up. Good job, Jerry.
I'm going to. Steve's saying that he has an eProbe.
Oh, really?
Yeah. A Frank box?
Like a Frank box? I think it's a Frank box. I think that's what they call it. I'll research it a little bit.
Oh, so yeah, it is a ghost box.
Oh, yeah.
Created in 2002 by EVP enthusiasts.
But I'm talking, yeah. But I'm talking about like when they first, like the first creator, when they used the white sound off of a little transmission radio. So I'm talking, it's something like that. It's the same thing, but I mean, it's longer than that. I know there was a first creator of that type of spirit box.
Yep, and that Frank box dude that made that Frank Sumption, inventor of the paranormal investigating device known as the Frank's box, has reportedly died of a heart attack. Well,
that's sad.
There you go. Here you are. You're selling his equipment, and he's gone.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, it does. As Steve was saying, it works like a millimeter. Yeah, it kind of does, but I think it's a little bit more, in its own. You know, that's I don't like some of those all-in-one things. You know.
I like my EDI. My EDI.
See, I wish
I
mine
love that
broke.
thing.
Mine broke.
Did it really?
Yeah, the good one, the expensive one, the EDI Plus. I wish I had that back. That thing was awesome. Sean, I am more willing to test any and all equipment that goes with the paranormal. Well, there you go. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, girl power. Well, you said it's paranormal power. Oh, there's Mufi. She's finally arrived. It's okay, Mufi. I'm sure that we interest you. I love Mufi.
So I have to tell you guys this real quick. So we did this whole EVP thing out in the woods not too long ago. And this is pretty interesting. I was talking about the fire, you know, and I'm talking about like Native and history and everything, because there's a huge history in this area that we're in. And we actually did it with Jada LaFrance, and she's a really, she's into music, but she loves the paranormal. And she took my EVP from that day and she messed with it a little bit because she has the right type of,
Whoa, what was that?
What was that?
I don't know.
Oh, wasn't that the EVP?
That's what it sounded like.
Maybe he's trying to tell us something.
Ooh.
So anyway, so I was doing this EVP. We did this EVP session, and I said, "Oh, don't you see the beautiful fire?" And I actually used the recorder, which I know it's a no-no, but I used the recorder off my phone. Now, she told me, which was very interesting, she used her engineering equipment, and she was able to separate the voice. She says because phones are only supposed to be able to hear voices. Only voices will be recorded when you're using your recorder as an interview or whatnot. So I thought that was kind of interesting because she knows that this is this kind of a fact about your phone, okay? Mm-hmm. When she used it through the equipment, she says, "You're not going to believe this," but she enlightened the EVP and everything, and you hear a Native American man say, "Woods," like that, with that tone and everything.
Oh, I remember that.
And I just think it's so interesting because the way she put it together and the way she described it was so interesting that only your phone can hear certain words, like tones of voices only. So, you know, because they try to leave out because it's only, you know, trying to, you know, get whatever sound which is your voice. So to her, she thought it was very interesting that I got this EVP. And of course, it heard it, and they, you know, I just thought it was really cool. And you can totally hear it's a Native American man. And of course, there is a lot of Native Americans up there. So I thought it was really interesting. Super interesting.
Right.
Yep.
Wow.
Mhm.
I know that speaking of EVPs and Native American, we did a place in Santee, Nebraska.
Mhm.
And in Santee, there was this maiden's dress that hundreds of years old, and it was beautifully done, and it was just like it was brand new. Steph fell in love with it, and she just wanted to touch
seen
it and
that.
stuff. Yeah, and the EVP that came out of that was "Don't touch it,"
Oh.
which was a girl's voice saying, "Don't touch it."
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty hilarious and stuff. Oh, Steve B. In a couple days, what is this? Calling radio show. Super paranormal.
What's that?
I don't know.
I'll have to see it.
Yeah, it's us. It's our website.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me, when we were talking about, when we were talking to Rini.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
She got a new doll.
Nice.
And she sent me a picture of it. And when I opened up the text, right away, I just got this sick feeling in my stomach. And I said, hey, please tell me about them. Don't send me pictures of them, So I deleted it off. And so this morning she called me up and she said, you are not going to believe this. And I went, what? She goes, the picture I sent you? I said, yeah, please don't ever do that again. I said, I actually got sick. And she said, this thing crawled up the stairs. And I went, what? And she said, yeah. She said, I was the last one. I went to bed at 2:00 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching some shows and I put it back in the box. And the next morning, when Turgan got up, she got up screaming because it was actually halfway up the stairs to the room.
Wow.
It was just sitting there. And it's like, whoa, this is too much. So I think we're going to have a really good show when she comes back on. She's going to have a lot to talk about.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So anyway, I guess it's that time, kiddos. Thanks, everybody, for listening in. Appreciate it. Thank you, Para X. And remember, you guys, lots of shows on Para X. And thank you, Sarge, for everything you do for us. We appreciate it. And thanks to the troops for listening. And Kimmy, we will see you later. And next week is just going to be a program, a pass. So thank you all. Have a good night.